Hello, Greek students, and welcome to weeks 5 and 6 in our class. So this is one of those weeks where things are going to be combined. 2 weeks are combined because we are in study weeks. That is to say, the material that is in this unit, you have 2 weeks to complete. There is a little bit more in there, namely an extra review vocabulary quiz, and we're going to be doing one more lesson from Black, and there will be one additional video. Normally we only do 2 video lectures per week. There are going to be 3 this week. And as far as the homework goes, there are 2 different assignments, but one of them is going to count 2 for 1, that you get credit for 2 homework assignments for doing the one. So as far as our objectives for this week, the things that we're getting at in Greek, we're going to introduce what are called personal pronouns in the first person, the second person, and the third person. We're also going to introduce the perfect tense, so we get a new tense, actually 2 new tenses with the pluperfect as well. The perfect is far more common in New Testament Greek than the pluperfect is. We'll still introduce the latter, and you'll see it every so often, but it's not going to play a huge role in this class or in your translation of New Testament Greek. And then the last thing we're going to introduce is what is called demonstratives. Demonstratives, both adjectives and pronouns. So this certain class of words has 2 different kinds of uses, and we'll talk about how to identify those 2 different kinds of uses in the video, and also you'll read about that in Black's grammar. As far as memorization goes, you have 3 different things to memorize this week. The first 2 are really similar to one another. They look really similar to one another. The first person personal pronoun paradigm and the second person personal pronoun paradigm. So really, if you can memorize one of these, you've basically memorized the other. And the other is the perfect active indicative paradigm of Luo. So that's our memorization. That's what we're introducing, our topics for the week. As far as homework goes, you have one homework assignment that is just a number of different translations, standalone translations with different grammatical questions associated with them. The second one, and this is our 2 for 1 homework assignment, is a passage called The Dead Child, in which we meet a dead child, and also the evil devouring angels make a reappearance from a few weeks ago. So, just things for you to really look forward to. There's going to be a vocabulary review quiz. This is cumulative. It's going to be on lessons 3 through 8, and it's not going to contain any of the new vocabulary from this week. So I know sometimes that having cumulative material or cumulative exams is sort of frowned upon by students, but really this is for your advantage. 1, because it's going to be words that you've seen a number of times, so perhaps they will be easier for you, and 2, because they're going to prepare you for the vocabulary exam that will come up later on in the semester to sort of make sure you're sort of on your toes as far as your Greek vocabulary goes. So that vocabulary review will be review of lessons 3 through 8 vocabulary, and as a reminder, on Brainscape you can always sort of choose which lessons you're reviewing, so I would encourage you to select lessons 3 through 8 for your review. And then there is a additional vocabulary quiz on just lessons 9 through 11, the lessons for this week that won't contain any review. So normally there's 2 or 3 review questions sprinkled in to the vocabulary quiz for the week. For this second vocabulary quiz, there will not be any review questions sprinkled in. It will all be on the vocabulary from lessons 9 through 11. And lastly, there is a grammar quiz covering those topics of the paradigms for memorization, as well as some of those other grammatical topics. It will be a 10-question quiz as always, and there is not a second grammar quiz for this week. So only 2 vocabulary quizzes for the week, or for the 2 weeks, I should say. So if you have any questions about this format, and as sort of a reminder, the reason that we have 2 weeks here is that we have a study days week where normally we would not be meeting on Monday for the residential students during normal non-COVID life, where we would actually be meeting residentially. We would not have a Monday meeting in this time, and that sort of gives us the space of study days. And so that's why we have this 2-week window rather than just the standard 1 week. And so I do want these 2 weeks or one of the 2 weeks to be a little bit lighter for you as far as mentally, that I hope you can get a little bit of a break between the sort of minimalized material and the expanded time frame, that you have less material in 2 weeks than you would normally for this class, and hopefully in your other class you have similar sort of breaks. But at the same time, because a language is use it or lose it, as we've said before in this class, it would definitely behoove you to sort of keep up with what's going on during these 2 weeks and not wholly abandon Greek for a week or even for a handful of days. That hopefully this will give you time to sort of take little chunks at a time as you have this extended 2-week period. So if you have any questions about sort of the format and the schedule of what we're doing here, by all means throw that in the questions and curiosities forum or send me an email. Otherwise, I will see you in the class.